tonight's horse show, we welcome one of Canada's most iconic voices in horse racing. He has called 28 Queen's Plates and 5 times brought home a Triple Crown champion, the last being Wando in 2003. Please welcome Canada's voice of thoroughbred racing, Mr. Dan Lozelle.
There we go. Thank you so much, Steve, and good evening, everyone. What an exciting year it has been for Canadian horse racing as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the sport in Canada. And we are absolutely thrilled to be able to showcase a little bit of the history of our great sport right here at the Royal Horse Show tonight. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard me right. Horse racing in this country is 100 years older than Canada itself. In fact, the first records of organized horse racing date back to the 1st of July, 1767 on the Plains of Abraham, when a military race took place. The horse that won that race descended from the horses that comprised the royal stable of Louis XIV. If I can direct your attention to the screens overhead, let's learn a little bit more about that first race and where it all began.
July 1st, 1767, the first organized horse racing event in Canada was staged on the Plains of Abraham in Quebec City. The victory by Modesty, a mare ridden by Captain Prescott, would herald a race that celebrates 250 years of horse racing in the Dominion of Canada. The site, overlooking St. Lawrence River, was the Plains and Battlefield, where the British defeated the French forces in 1759. 8 years later, the tradition of horse racing and wagering in Canada began its recorded history on these fields with Captain Prescott and Modesty. The details of the race, which occurred 100 years to the day before Canada's Confederation, are sketchy. Announcement of the upcoming race appeared in the Quebec Gazette, listing the post time as 5 o'clock in the afternoon, precisely the best of 3 heats, once around the course each heat. Following the race, in the July 9th edition of the Gazette, the race results were described as follows. The purse of $40 was won with greatest ease by Captain Prescott's mare Modesty. It was termed an upset, much to the discomfiture of those who, purporting to know about such things, had wagered against and were thereby parted from their money. The contest did afford much pleasure, and there were no accidents save that some few riders were thrown from their mounts. From which circumstance it appeared that they had suffered more fright than injury. It is from this date and that race which all horse racing in Canada has evolved.
From that military race in 1767 until today, horse racing, both under saddle and harness racing, have been part of the fabric of this great country. Whether on small tracks or fairs, racing on frozen rivers or the ponds, or ceremonial races like the Queen's Plate, Canada's oldest continuously run stakes race. In fact, it's North America's oldest continuously run stakes race. Horse racing has endured, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, here on this very site, harness racing was held as part of the Canadian National Exhibition from the late 1800s through to the mid-1900s. Canada has produced some of the best horse racing participants anywhere in the world, including names like E.P. Taylor, the Samuel family, the Armstrong family, Ron Turcotte, John Campbell, Joe O'Brien, the Filions, Armbro Flight, Dan Smartly, Some Beat Somewhere, and the incomparable Northern Dancer. For 48 years when I heard that song, I said 10 minutes until post time, but not tonight. Tonight, in honor of the 250th anniversary of horse racing in Canada, we welcome 7 horses to the ring to complete a commemorative mile of 8 laps of the arena. In total, these 7 horses have earned over $1.2 million in their racing careers, and each and every one of them has gone on to a second career away from the racetrack. Leading off with the 250th anniversary flag is Calamar, an 18-year-old standardbred gelding, ridden by owner Debbie O'Brien Morin. Following his 6-year racing career, Calamar continues to thrive. He and Debbie work as a team as an outrider and lead pony, leading post parades at various tracks throughout Ontario. Next up is Maple Tints and Betsy Sinclair. Maple Tints at the end of the arena there. Maple Tints is a 12-year-old thoroughbred gelding who earned over $200,000 while racing, and I used to announce his races. He's a graduate of the Long Run Thoroughbred Retirement Society and will be competing in the thoroughbred classes tomorrow right here at the Royal. Go get him, Maple Tints. Next is 13-year-old standardbred gelding Spago Hall. Spago Hall, just to my left here, he recently concluded a successful racing career, earning over $300,000. And now, thanks to owners Don and Anita Leisheed of Bell River, Ontario, Spago Hall is a harness racing ambassador for the Ontario Harness Association Want and Ride program, providing the opportunity for patrons at tracks to experience what it's like to sit behind a racehorse. Just like you see tonight with Sam Sovereign riding along with the young gentleman, and that's not Brian Tropey, but Brian is the president of the Ontario Harness Horse Association. Our next participant is Man Cave. Man Cave is a 6-year-old thoroughbred gelding who earned over $175,000 in 15 starts during his racing career. He has gone on to compete in conformation classes and under saddle classes in the show ring, and was the winner of the thoroughbred conformation class here at the Royal in 2016. This gelding's pedigree is filled with Northern Dancers bloodlines on both his sire and his dam side, and provides a wonderful example of the incredible role that the great Northern Dancer still holds in thoroughbred racing. He was Canada's first Kentucky Derby winner, and he still ranks among the greatest sires that the sport has ever known. Riding Man Cave is Sheena Ryan of Kindersby. Give us a wave, Sheena. Sheena Ryan rides at Woodbine. She was racing today at Woodbine, and she's living her dream of being a jockey. Sheena was among the top 10 jockeys at Woodbine last year, and in 2014, Sheena Ryan won the Sovereign Award as Canada's Outstanding Apprentice Jockey. Congratulations, Sheena. Great to see you here. 7-year-old standardbred trotter Let's Steven is presented this evening by owner Sarah Town. Sarah's wearing her blue and white racing colors, and the Ontario bred gelding is still actively racing in harness. He and Sarah compete in standardbred racing under saddle races at tracks throughout Ontario, recently winning the final under saddle race of 2017. Russ, or Trot Monty Racing, is a combination of harness racing and thoroughbred racing with horses trotting instead of galloping during the races. Next is the thoroughbred gelding Highland Bay, sired by Dina Springs' own stallion, Sligo Bay. Highland Bay concluded his racing career in 2015. He won 2 of 19 career starts and earned over $100,000 lifetime. He's now under the care of Natalie Roth, who rides in this evening. Highland Bay and Natalie compete in horse shows throughout Southern Ontario, and they will be taking part in the thoroughbred classes tomorrow morning right here at the Royal. Good luck, Natalie. And our final participant of the evening is Rachel Lauren, a standardbred trotter who competed earlier this week in the road horse division here at the Royal with her owner, Sébastien Hébert of Saint-Cyril, Quebec. But at the lines tonight in his blue and gold colors is a harness racing legend. Driver Ron Waples, a member of both the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame and the U.S. Harness Racing Hall of Fame. Ontario Raised Waples has won the most important harness races in North America. He's won over 6,900 races lifetime and driven the winners of over $75 million. Ron Waples and Rachel Laurie. As the horses conclude their final of the 8 laps in their commemorative mile, we invite them to line up at the center of the ring. Thank you very much. Hi, Sheena. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us this evening for a special presentation to Royal Agricultural Winter Fair President Andrew McKee are members of the Canadian Horse Racing